Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Thursday, the 10th of December, 2020. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris. Thank you for joining me this ungodly hour. I've got my co-host, Andy Hall from the Laughing in Disbelief blog over at Atheist. He'll be joining me in just a second. And Nokasuchi from the Rage channel. He'll be joining me. And we're going to talk about stuff at the place with people for things. And tech gremlins, probably tech gremlins right after this. Did Donald Trump sell the Resolute desk? On Thanksgiving, Typhoid Trump spoke to the press for the first time in 3 weeks since the election, and he did so from a cartoonishly small desk in the diplomatic room of the White House. To add to the pathetic scene, a few feet away sat an undecorated Christmas tree, which seems to fittingly suit his presidency. A dictator at the child's table, and he failed to complete the one job in the room. And if you look at the pictures, it looks like he's signing stuff, but he doesn't even have a pen or a Sharpie or a crayon. But why did he take questions from such a small desk? Did he steal and sell the Resolute desk in a desperate attempt to get more coin over to Deutsche Bank for his puppet master Putin? Just kidding. We all know he wouldn't really do such a thing, just like he wouldn't really call for the arrest of his political opponents or openly try to subvert our democracy. That's just crazy talk. Maybe someone should check on the Resolute desk. Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Now is the time to start talking, Andy. I've having little technical nerding problems. I'm not sure what happened. The show doesn't seem to have started on the damn show channel for some reason. I want to tinker with it while Andy and Nokasuchi while away the hours with their wonderful experiences about the cooties and the church, and I was wrong, and I made a thing, and it's funny, and we're going to laugh. Ha, 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 ha. I'll be back in a minute.
Good morning, everyone. This is Andy. You may know me from other shows on the Daily Atheist Morning Show and from my own shenanigans. Mr. Rage, how are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. I've got that DD hangover this morning, so
you have the VD hangover, sir. Is that what you're telling me?
DD, DD, Darth Dawkins hangover. So yeah, so I'm doing pretty good this morning, getting some work done.
Well, that's good. I am preparing a list of topics I can talk about at my girlfriend's work party. They're doing a seasonal holiday Zoom party today I think it's at 4:00. And so I'm coming up with a list of acceptable topics to talk about that are non-controversial. And so far I have the Patriots who are playing tonight, and I have the weather. Do you have any other suggestions for me? Anyone? Any other non-controversial? Because the last time I went to a work party, this is for an old company that my girlfriend worked at, I called someone an effing racist to their face. And that was probably not what I want to replicate on this particular work outing. So anyone for topics to talk about?
You could always talk about how the Detroit Lions are proof against the existence of God.
Okay. Explain your thesis a bit.
Well, if God existed, then the Detroit Lions would have won one playoff game in the last 20 years with all the prayers sent his way. So I'm just saying, the lack of answering any of those prayers is proof that God doesn't exist.
All right. I think I might be getting into some dodgy territory there. With my girlfriend's coworkers. The good thing is that she works for a biotech company, so they're not idiots.
They're probably a bunch of atheists anyway.
Yeah, if they're not atheists, then agnostics. So so that's safe. So I think those will be safe. I'll make other lists. And hey, people in the chat, people who are listening, people who are watching, we have a telephone number you can call in at. It is, and I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say the number. It is 940-326-7469. That's 940-DAMN-SHOW. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you to call in right now because Chris is working on those tech gremlins. Or you should call in. We could see Chris have some kind of apoplectic fit.
Yeah, always down to see a fit in the morning.
Nothing wrong with that. So, Rage, you had Darth Dawkins on your channel last night, you were saying.
Yeah, well, all week he's been coming in the side chats and came in yesterday morning side chat or yesterday afternoon stream side chat and was He's gonna be there at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. comes, he's not there. We have all these people showing up. It was a great showing. And after about 40 minutes of talking junk, he finally shows up just to have about a 5-minute interaction with John Peterson, and then rage quit and left. So it was beautiful. Another classic Darth Dawkins meltdown.
So Darth Dawkins, for those of us who aren't acquainted with Darth Dawkins, what's this guy all about? Is he one of those presuppositionalist apologetic guys?
Oh yeah, he's a pre-sup. He tries to use the Socratic method, but he uses it to make an argument instead of figure out his interlocutor. So he really, it's a corrupted Socratic method that he uses, and yeah, he's a big pre-sup, and all around douchebag. He's known for it. It's Darth is James Henry in my side chat saying Darth is a Pharisee. So
he's a Pharisee, right? Very good, very good. Yeah. So congratulations on having Mr. Peterson over there. Take him out after 5 minutes. Very impressive work.
Peterson said that he couldn't substantiate his argumentation. So Darth came in, and Peterson just did what Darth does to everybody. He wouldn't let him move on to the next question. He insisted that he answer the first question. 5 minutes later, when Darth realized Peterson was going to make him answer the question, he left.
And you know what? That's a great strategy. I've used that many times. It's like, you didn't answer the question, so I'm going to rephrase the question in case you don't understand it. And then you just keep hammering them on that point, and they'll try to wiggle out of it. But if you hold them tight, they won't be able to.
Oh yeah, and it's all about. A is God, so A equals God. And if you argue against God, then you're arguing not A, and you need to replace. It's really weird, and it's like, well, how do you get that God is this universal constant that you talk about, and you can't never get him to answer that question because he can't answer that question. Right. So yeah, it's always good times with him. It's the third time he's been on the channel. And well known in the community for being a total tool, to say the least.
Right. From what I understand about these more complicated forms of apologetics, it just seems to be basically God did it or the Bible says so with this superstructure of verbiage.
Yep. It pretty much all comes down, but the Bible says. That's their argument is, but the Bible says. Right. So, who cares what the Bible says? It's a book. It's written 2,000 years ago. Show me your God, or tell me why it's not Krishna.
Very good, dude. So I'm pretty psyched up about this vaccine. Right?
Me too. I'm dispirited though, because I go through Facebook in the morning and I'm seeing more and more of those. This person won't be taking no vaccine posts. And I understand the trepidation. I understand it. Like if you've got this, like, I'm going to wait and see approach, besides, especially if you're not a first responder, you're going to be waiting and seeing anyway. I understand that. But this, I'm not taking this anti-Christ vaccine post that I'm seeing it's driving me nuts.
Right.
I mean, from what you've seen from your Facebook page, has it been basically Christians saying it is the Antichrist vaccine? Bill Gates is shooting me full of Antichrist tiger blood or whatever, that kind of crazy talk?
Yeah, it's been crazy. I'm not sure what this person means. I'm gonna type in my side chat.
All right. So
I'm back, guys, by the way.
Oh, you're back, Chris. Well, yes. Were you able to resolve the things that needed to be resolved?
I was not. So what I did was I directed people who were waiting over there in my channel to watch us over in your channel. So hopefully they made it. Yep.
Wow.
And
I'm working. This is the power of redundancy right here when you're streaming to two other channels. I imagine if something implodes on your channel, you can just shuffle them over.
It's not the first time. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
It probably won't be the last either.
One of the things is that we're today we're not streaming to the Laughing in Disbelief blog, or not blog, but the Facebook page or YouTube channel. Starting tomorrow, we will not be streaming we'll only be streaming as far as Facebook, just to my own the Daily Atheist Morning Show Facebook page. I'm going to stop streaming to all those other pages because it doesn't seem to be doing anything for the channel. If people watch over there, I don't hear from them, talk to them. It's the most expensive software I pay for monthly on its own. It's just not worth it. So if you like watching the show, pop on over and like it on the Daily Atheist Morning Show YouTube or on Facebook, because I'm going to stop streaming to all those things there. As is the case possibly with the YouTube channels. I may, by the end of the month, just be back down to my own YouTube channels. Depends on where we're going with that. Just doesn't seem to be doing anything. It's not working. So moving on to something else, kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's kind of the deal. Right now, I'm getting the phone line going and phone up and going. So maybe we'll have some fun with that today.
No, so here's a stupid question by me. If people call in, and even though we're not streaming on your channel, we'll still be able to hear the callers. In other words, the phone system still works, even though your channel may not be streaming the show.
Yep. Well, yeah, you should see everything just like normal on everybody else's channel, just my channel. We're streaming on Twitch, Twitter, all the Facebook channels. Everything seems to be working for some reason, except for my YouTube channel. Don't know why. So other than that, everything seems to be good.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. So people can call in.
Yes, I'm just now getting the show up over there and going. That's all. I'm a little new to running it. And so I'm getting it fired up, and here we go.
So you want to talk more about the bishop and COVID?
Do you want to correct me? You said that before the show, you said that he had actually changed his mind and will now.
So the backstory, We'll do the backstory. A while back, I believe it was in November, Fresno's Catholic bishop, he expressed concerns about the morality of the creation of the vaccines, because the proteins could be coming from embryonic or fetal tissues. Now, this is not the fact. The vaccines that have been developed do not use embryonic or fetal tissues, but this guy shot his mouth off before doing his due diligence, before doing his research. Who would have imagined that? Who would have imagined somebody in power shooting their mouth off, running their mouth without really understanding what they're talking about?
True enough. Yeah. Well, was it like researched with, but not currently made with? Is something that's sort of the case?
Let's see.
That seems to be one of Rage's pet peeves too. Is all these people who seem to come out with this, they're not going to take it for this reason or that reason.
Allow me to let you know. I'll let you know what's going on with this first article from November. Okay. Kevin McCormick of the California Stem Cell Agency in Oakland stated that some companies have developed synthetic proteins to make COVID vaccines. Pfizer said that they are not using fetal or embryonic cells or anything like that for its vaccine. Okay. McCormick, this guy the person from the California Stem Cell Agency, explained the most impressive ones being vaccines that we've seen recently, the Pfizer and Moderna ones, those are the ones that using what's called messenger RNA. So these are made from genetically tweaked proteins that have nothing to do with embryonic tissue or fetal tissues. So once again, the mRNA vaccines have nothing, no embryonic nor fetal tissues. But this gentleman, this bishop in November, was saying that he was, now this isn't his word, but I'm going to throw this word in there, that he is skeptical. He was skeptical, okay, or he was cautious, or he would not be taking the vaccine if it was immorally made. Flash forward, ladies and gentlemen, to today. Today's article is Fresno's Catholic bishop now backs use of COVID-19 vaccines. So I'm just going to read the article. And where is this? It's ABC 30. I guess it's a local affiliate. And the name of the article is Fresno's Catholic bishop now backs use of COVID-19 vaccines. In a video released last month, Bishop Joseph Brennan expressed his doubts towards the vaccine closest to FDA approval, the Pfizer vaccine. The disapproval was met with backlash from experts who insisted that the information was false. A representative from Pfizer responded saying, it is a synthetically designed vaccine that contains no human or animal products. It now appears that the bishop has acknowledged that. In a statement released yesterday, he said, without better alternatives and following serious reflection upon the health risks and needs for oneself, one's family, and the broader community, Catholics may ethically decide for serious reasons to utilize such vaccines. What's remarkable? What's remarkable, and I'm saying this sarcastically, is that people just can't say that they're wrong. Why can't people just say that they were wrong? That they just didn't understand the complexities of the issue at the time. And we're not asking him to defend pedophilia. We're just asking him. We're just saying, hey, you had your facts wrong. You shut your mouth off early. You just say, hey, I misspoke. I said something wrong. I was an idiot. I didn't do my research. Okay, so that's the reason probably why he doesn't want to say those words right there. It undermines his authority. And so, yes, it's now he gives the okay. So the Catholic world can now take the vaccine without thinking about that they're going to go to hell for it.
Well, this outrages me, honestly. I'm going to try not to curse during this tirade, but this all stems back to George Bush's crusade against stem cell research when he was president. He made it a religious issue, and all these religious freaks out there stop the advancement of medical science. This is the same thing as people who are already talking about they will never get nanotechnology, which all science is indicating will end all disease. You put these nanobots into your body, and these nanobots fight disease as disease starts to happen in your body. We're a generation or two away from that, and they're already starting to call it the mark of the beast. No, this is the advancement of medical society and the advancement of human society. This is how we're going to live longer and be healthier. And you're like, nope, I'm not going to take that because my 2,000-year-old book tells me it's wrong. We got to get over these old archaic beliefs and get into the modern world because that's where we live. Rant over.
No, that was good. Yeah. I'm just kind of curious. How many marks of the beast are there?
Yeah.
It's like that's a mark of the beast. Don't get a credit card thing. Don't get the chip in your body because that's the mark of the beast. How many marks are there? Then now we on the left are going to go and look at that mark of the beast, MAGA.
Yeah. And the book kind of points it out, like when this fictitious Antichrist comes, he's going to tattoo 666 on you. I mean, the mark of the beast is 666. It's not a microchip.
Right.
It's not nanobot technology.
Yeah. See, I remember it was, I don't remember when it was. It was a long time ago. Back in the 90s, I think they were talking about that. And the number 666 was going to be on the chip. That's where the magic happens.
So let me continue reading this because the article seems to be saying different conflicting pieces of information here. And Critical Cripple pointed that out in my chat. John Giraudi's organization Right to Life in Central California, along with the Diocese of Fresno, put out a pastoral guide to COVID-19 vaccines. Girardi said it spells out why Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines don't have the Catholic Church's full stamp of approval because of stem cells used in medical research, but are still the best choice for Catholics when considering COVID-19. They're the best options available because they have the least amount of involvement with cell lines that utilize cells derived from aborted fetuses. So, the thing is about science reporting, a lot of it is done poorly. That's what it is. And, even when I write my crappy blog articles, satirical blog articles, they're basically black and white in the fact that even my fictitious characters answer questions quite straightforwardly. Does it contain, so from what I understand, the vaccine itself does not contain baby parts, fetus parts. Okay. But the research that went into it.
That's what I said. You know what I said? I thought somebody who looks like me.
But I'm just following up on the end of that article. I'm just following it up from the. I'm just doing this for clarification.
Okay, thank you. No. Keep me straight. But yeah, I mean, I was wrong that the guy hadn't changed his mind. I didn't even look. I was like, oh, look, another Catholic crazy, and I made the.
Well, you know what's interesting is that the critical cripple, in my chat was saying the Oxford vaccine does use stem cells, at least in the research for their vaccine. So there you go.
People need to research. I mean, it's been a while since I researched stem cells, and I'm like no scientist, but I was involved in the activism back during the Bush days. Most of the stem cells that we use in scientific research are not fetal stem cells. Now, fetal stem cells are like the purest form of stem cells that we could get if we could have access to them, but there is a moral dilemma surrounding it. So most scientists don't use fetal stem cells. So I mean, it's a non-starter, but they get stuck in their religion, and you can't even have a conversation about it.
I just want to say, the Lone Wanderer's bunker, no trying to summon demons in my chat. I see what you're doing. We're not going to have that shit.
Your chat, Chris?
Or no, it's Andy's chat. Because my show, for some reason, YouTube is not right. But you know what I mean. Andy's chat, the Lone Wanderers. Yes, I saw what you were doing there. We're not falling for that. Anyway, so yeah, we got the phone number up for those who want to call and talk to Andy and Rach. So I think everything seems to be working.
They can talk to you too, Chris. We're going to allow them to talk to you.
Why? Nobody wants to talk to
yourself me. Well, I mean, that's possible.
No. Nobody wants to talk. No.
Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody
wants to talk to me.
Wow, man.
Sad Chris, lonely Chris.
So that's 940 Damn Show. 940 Damn Show. That's what it is.
Yeah, I know. What they want to dance, monkey dance. I'm holding it together somehow, though. I don't know what the hell happened with YouTube. Thankfully, though, it did it exactly as the show began, which makes for more drama. Interesting for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I did this post yesterday, or this short 60-second video about the March of Jericho. And I wish I was just making up jokes.
Can I play it? While you talk about it, I'll pull it up, okay?
Yeah. Pull it up, brother. That's fine. Rach, have you heard about this? This is going to be happening in your neck of the woods, brother.
No.
Okay. So the March of Jericho, and I crap you not, I am not making this up, is happening this Saturday. It's happening in Washington, D.C., as well as state capitals. So, Rage, when I say...
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Just run the video. Just run the video, bro. That's just
right. Let me give everybody audio there. Pop the thingy here, and hopefully everybody can see. We're going to hit play.
Conservative Christians are dangerous, and they're crazy. They're hosting Jericho marches on Saturday. They're marching around state capitals 7 times until the walls of voter fraud come falling down.
America is under attack.
What the hell?
Our voices rang out on November 3rd.
No way.
You guys lost.
Jericho was a city of false gods and corruption. On God's command, Joshua and the army of Israel marched around the city 7 times and let out a loud shout, and God brought down the walls of the city.
The Battle of Jericho is a terrible story with no historical foundation whatsoever. After the wall supposedly fell down, the soldiers went in and killed women, children, the elderly, the disabled, everyone.
Our Jericho March was born of a vision from God.
Their God hates democracy. Their God hates religious freedom. And they are dangerous.
Oh my God.
I hadn't seen that, Andy. I guess I should have seen that. Yeah, it was good.
The rednecks of America have raised spoiled, rotten little children that can't take losing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
They talk about participation trophies, right? They talk about virtue signaling. They talk about all about all of these things. But what do? They raise children that cannot accept losing a fair and square election. They are virtue signaling by getting up into little crowds and doing biblical 5K walks around state.
Oh, dude. I mean, I wish Yeah, I'm having car issues right now with my engine lights on, or I drive up to the Capitol just so I could laugh at the idiots. Because I like after they're done circling the state Capitol for seven times and letting out a shout, what happens when nothing happens?
When is this happening, Andy? You said, I'm sorry.
It's this Saturday. It's this Saturday, the 12th.
Okay, I'm making notes. Jericho. That we had a poster in our on the Podbean live in our live broadcast who said, what a load of jiff jaff you're talking. And I just wanted to point out that it's your with an apostrophe re. I'm just kind of letting you know. The right wing doesn't seem to have grammar comprehension.
You are talking. So, I'm just letting you know. That's pretty strong language.
It really is. Yeah. It really is.
I've heard David Paul's asking in specific states. They are targeting battleground states, of course. So I imagine you're going to be hearing stuff coming up from Georgia, of course, because they have that election coming up. They're having two Senate elections coming up. And then, of course, in Michigan, I'm sure, home of, I'm going to say it again, guys, the Wolverine Watchmen.
Don't say it.
If they leave the Secretary of State's house long enough, they might participate in the march.
Right.
Right. They're gonna load up in their PT cruisers, cruise over to the Capitol. And I don't know about who's going to be bringing their trumpets because the story of Jericho, brothers and sisters, you got to have the trumpets blaring or the horn section going loud and proud to get the walls to collapse.
That's right. This is another one of those testaments as to why atheists should care about religion. And politics, I'm sorry. Yeah. Whenever we have other atheists out there telling us, hey, don't talk about politics on your show, to hell with that, because there's atheists or Christians out there right now trying to drive our politics. They are, and let me just clarify, and I may even be able to say it slow like Andy does sometimes. What they're doing, my understanding, is they're going to march around these contested capitals of these states and try to, whenever they're done, shout, and God is supposed to overturn the election. That's what's supposed to happen.
Fraud will fall.
That's what's supposed to happen. So there are Christians meeting all over the country to try to, and we're not supposed to talk about politics. I've got a huge middle finger for that stuff. The longer this goes on, the more we hear about this, the more aggravated I get whenever I hear about other atheists out there saying, don't talk about politics. You know what? You can kiss my rosy red ass. I won't talk about what the hell I want to talk about.
Politics are a huge part of it.
Absolutely.
We need representation. Like right now, atheists, we have no representation. Other minority groups are starting to get representation, but atheists aren't even considered. So I'm sure that we have a few atheists in Congress or in the echelons of power, but they have to pretty much lie about what they are. Politics are vitally important, and especially if you're talking about a secular society, since compared to the theocratic society that they're trying to implement.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be interesting. Excuse me. It'll be interesting to see what happens on Saturday, to see if any violence erupts, because we're talking about like the end of overtime coming up, and the desperation is wild on the evangelical Christian side.
Somebody last night in my open room, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know, but somebody said that the Supreme Court already shot down the Texas case. Yeah. So if that's true, then it's game over. Like there's nothing left. But I haven't seen anything on it yet, so I don't know how true that is.
Well, my understanding is that the Texas case was taken straight to the Supreme Court and bypassed lower courts, which can be done in certain cases. Oh, yeah. So they're going straight. So they're really this is a massive swing for the bleachers, hoping that the people that they've put in the Supreme Court are literally going to give them and fold and give them So what happens if that happens? What happens if we wake up tomorrow and we find out that the Supreme Court has turned over all those states and given the presidency to Trump? What do we do? What happens?
I hope everyone took my advice a few months ago and have a bug out bag ready. That's what for.
we take to the streets, and I'm talking 83 million strong.
Plus.
Yeah, I mean,
well, somebody's going to need a bug out bag, and it ain't going to be us. I appreciate Andy's thinking that. I mean, I'd like to think it wouldn't be us. But
my side chat is saying Nate Brody did a show on the Texas thing, so it could be true. Texas already shot down, or the Supreme Court already shot down the Texas thing. So
I'll have to make another video about that. You were saying that'll be what not?
That would be, like I said, just that's the last bullet in their chamber. Once that fails,
for now, we say that, and then I did a video yesterday. So part of the deals is Bill Barr would not interfere into the election, and he wouldn't arrest Donald Trump's political opponents. Bill Barr has said he's going to step aside. Donald Trump has suddenly said he's going to intervene in this Texas thing. If the Texas thing gets shot down, he'll intervene somewhere else. But before long, he's going to, has he found another person to put in Bill Barr's position before he leaves office who will do his bidding? If he has, that could be very unfortunate for Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and stuff like that. I mean, does that make sense? Did I say that too fast?
Nope. You made perfect sense. Phil Lister in the chat says, makes the observation, if you ignore political moves by the religious, don't be surprised if you find yourself in a theocracy. Well said, Phil Lister.
Right.
Well, yeah, and I mean, yeah, when I say last bullet in the chamber, I'm talking through legal means. I've heard report, and I talked about this last night on my show. Yeah. I've heard reports that he's literally considering implementing martial law and keeping the presidency that way, and people around him are like, no, and are hoping that he doesn't take that route, So,
well, in order to take that route, he'd have to have the support of the military. That's just crazy. Yeah. And yet over the last few months, he's been replacing the heads of the military. Yeah. It's just like I said whenever I was talking about, he'll be talking about arresting his political opponents. No, he won't. That's crazy. Come and gone, right?
I've come to the conclusion it's a money scheme, and that he's gonna leave. But there's that little part in the pit of my stomach that just feels like I just don't know if he's about the money or if he's just crazy. So I mean, we're gonna see that part of it, I guess, real soon.
Those are mutually exclusive.
Once again, it's been my idea, how I look at Trump is that if he can get away with getting it all, then he'll try it. He'll make the big push.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Declaring martial law, that is a you can get shot in the back of the head kind of move, like from some kind of Boston movie, right? You can get shot in the head if you try to declare martial law, and it doesn't go well. And the thing is about Donald J. Trump is that he does not want to get shot in the back of the head.
Well, yeah, and that's what I said last night is, it seems to me like he might be getting closer and closer to actually being arrested before he leaves, as opposed to being dragged out of there. Because I think that if he were to give an order such as that they're not going to follow it. Yeah.
We're talking about, and George Lucas, you can say a lot of things about George Lucas, but he understands how republics fall, right? You may hate those prequels as much as I do. But I'll tell you that you get to the point that Mace Windu is in the Emperor's chambers or in the Grand Chancellor's chambers, and he's about to kill him. We can have discussions about whether or not that was really going to happen. And he says he he owns the Senate, he rules the courts, and I'm just going to execute him right now. And what's not going to happen while Donald J. Trump is in office is that he will be arrested. Mace Windu may come up and lightsaber him, but he is not going to get arrested. Something would happen. They would just jump over that whole thing.
Andy, is that French? When you say things like that, it just does things to me. I don't know. I need to go wash up.
I don't know. I don't think we'll get there.
If people could arrest Julius Caesar, he would have been arrested. He didn't get arrested. He got stabbed like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because they've been doing this don't do the steal things the whole time he's been office or stop the steal. Like, this has been a Roger Stone campaign since he took office, and so it's been a money scheme the whole time. I think that he knows the writings on the wall. I really do. I think he understands that. I hope he understands that. And I think that this is all just a money ploy so he can raise money to beat the charges that are going to be coming at him. Because, they're going to be coming at him.
I hope you're right. I hope, the thing is, when people get into, when countries get into these kind of large conflicts, when people get into large conflicts, it is often because they misread what the other side is going to do, right? So they decide they're going to do something crazy and they expect the other side's going to back down. And that's how a lot of large conflicts, either interpersonally or within large organizations, can happen. And hopefully, and I can't believe I'm saying this, hopefully Donald J. Trump has enough wherewithal to understand that if he pushes too hard, things will happen to him and they will be bad things.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to know, like, they're as much as they cowtail to him, like, that's going too far, and there's got to be people around him saying, hey, you're stepping into some really dangerous grounds at this point. And I've heard all indications is the dude is privately is already considering his 2024 run, and so I mean, I think he's going to leave. I really do.
Well, I said a couple of months ago that he wouldn't be in office after January 20th. I still hold on to that. We'll see. Well, but ultimately, no one knows what's going to happen until it happens, to paraphrase Yogi Berra. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with him. You just don't know day to day. Like it's the sad thing that we're sitting here even speculating any of this. That the country has come to that point that this is actual viable speculation. At this point in the stage, December 10th, after a pretty much an overwhelming defeat in an election, right? So,
yeah. What is disturbing about all of this is how that section of the population is just being weaponized, and this has become a new normal. This has just become a new normal. So when this happens again in 4 years, in 8 years, or 12 years. This is just be typical.
I'm pretty angry about it because I'm still forced to defend Joe Biden instead of attacking that ass like I want to, because now I have to defend him against these idiots.
Did you guys hear what the Republicans in Arizona come out and said? Somebody in Arizona come out and started talking like, are you citizens going to let this happen? And are you willing to put your lives on the line to make sure that this election isn't stolen? That's inciting violence by conservative politicians. That there's no other way to read that.
I think that that's their last hope. Is they don't want to be seen as leading it, but if they can instigate civil unrest on their side, then that is a path to keeping power. If that grows, I mean, if you look at civil insurgency, at civil unrest, and once violence starts, it tends to spread like a wildfire, especially when tensions are like they are right now. I mean, we basically live in a tinderbox, and we have for the last 12 years.
Not only do we live in a tinderbox, but it's on a foundation that gives incentives to people who want to build tinderboxes. For the last 40 years, once again, 40 years, we've been creating this society that gives incentives to religious nuts, to oligarchs, to undermine democracy. It's madness. That's what it is. And this is just the fruits. This is just the fruits of that system.
Yeah. So I have no doubt that stuff like that's going on right now. Like, and if you're seeing some of it, that means a lot of it's going on. So where a lot of people, like right here in Michigan, I'm sure that there are Republican legislatures behind the scenes antagonizing a lot of the groups that are here. And these people have already taken to the Secretary of State's home with their guns. Yeah. I mean, it's getting pretty crazy here in Michigan. And it's all because we have a child in the White House that can't accept his defeat. Because he knows he's been a criminal his entire life, and he didn't stop when he became president of the United States. And if he leaves office, people are going to find out.
Critical points out the Stop the Steal campaigner tweeted, "I am willing to give my life for this fight." And that's what the Arizona Republican Party
Right.
stated. Are you willing to?
Well, I mean, 17 states joined on with Texas to tell other states how to run their elections. I mean, come on. Where are we at in this country? Seriously. They call us the snowflakes. We can't. You remember when Hillary lost and all the snowflake tears videos and the meltdown videos of Hillary losing? We have a country melting down 24/7. It's
that's because we're letting these people do this. We're letting these people get away with this. You know, if those Republicans had been arrested and thrown in jail and been working through bailing themselves out right now, instead of being allowed to continue, if Roger Stone, right now we're reading it, Critical Cripple says, the Stop the Steal campaigner tweeted, I'm willing to give my fight. They should be arrested right now. Door kicked in, arrested, thrown in jail publicly, and any other rest of them that started. That's what we do to people who do this. No. We just let them do it, and it's overrunning our government.
Nobody's talking about the criminality of Trump approaching election officials, calling them directly here in Michigan, bringing state legislators to the White House to try to overturn an election. There's criminality there. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Well, we just have to say we knew this was going to be a rough time between the election and, okay.
Double death overtime.
Double death overtime. Thank you for that. But so we're going to get to the 20th of January. That's going to get here and pass. And the amazing Super Chris, that would be me, predicts that it's not going to just suddenly end. No. Oh, look, Joe Biden's the president. Everything's no. The drama will continue for some time. I have a feeling.
Well, yeah, even if he leaves peacefully on his own, I mean, he's going to start that news network everybody's been talking about, and he's going to be ranting and railing about how it was stolen from him.
He should be in jail. You can't do that shit from jail.
Yeah.
Well, yes. If he's in jail,
Roger Stone should go back to jail. If Roger Stone got a pardon for whatever because something he admitted he did, you know what? If he's behind this tweet, the man needs to go to jail. If he's behind this tweet inciting violence among American citizens right now, he needs to go to jail.
Ryan Stevens says in my side chat, you know who is getting arrested? Statisticians running numbers on COVID at the rate.
That's right. They're literally kicking in their doors and arresting these people and seizing their computers for the people who are doing research on COVID. Instead of these hypocritical politicians who are inciting violence, our world is very fucked up right now.
Yeah, just to bring it back, that this happened in Florida. A researcher who was basically telling people about the real data. Her home was raided. You can see it on YouTube. There's the video cam footage. And obviously political, obviously harassment. And just like Hunter Biden's IRS tax issue right now, obviously harassment, obviously political.
Right.
They're just trying to make examples. They're just trying to make examples and use the institutions, the political institutions, to attack their political enemies.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if Hunter Biden did something illegal on his taxes, then fine. He should pay the price for that. But what about Trump? What about Trump? What about any of these rich fucks? The rich F words that cheat on their taxes and don't. Right. I mean, none of them pay any real taxes.
Everybody in the United States of America does something shady on their taxes. All right, unless you're filling out the most basic of forms. I see you tell there, Chris. I'm not going to say anything about it. But everyone does something shady on their taxes.
And you saw the propaganda come out as soon as I saw the.
I'm not allowed to do our taxes
about the investigation, and then what do I see on Trump's Twitter? 10% of Americans say they would have voted the other way if they'd have known about Hunter Biden. It's all propaganda, and it's all
absolutely. But I mean, at some point, we in the United States need to start holding our politicians accountable. I mean, there's always been this above the law kind of thing with them, but now it's just getting out of hand. Andy?
I want to compare the tax system with Christianity for a minute. and this isn't a far reach either. Both systems create rules and laws which no one can ever follow. No one can ever follow these things. It is meant to screw you over. So when the authority decides to screw you over, they just have to like turn a page and say, "Oh, you just did this wrong. So now I can do whatever I want to you."
Right.
That is how the American tax system is the way it is. And this isn't me doing an anti-government. This is me doing an anti-oligarch rant. It's because the oligarchs have made it so difficult and so complicated that it benefits them and not everyone else. It is the nature of corruption is to wrap as many people as they can into the corruption at one time.
Yep. While they send their money into offshore accounts, like look at the Panama Papers. I think it was something roughly around $250 billion a year of the richest of the rich sending their mone offshore, so it's not taxed at all by the United States government. I mean, that's yearly. That 200. And when I say that number, that's not the amount going into the offshore accounts. That's the amount the government would make taxing the amounts of money going into the offshore accounts every single year. That's Medicare for all and free college for all every single year, paid for just by what the rich get away with not accounting for.
Adam Ruins Everything does the TV show does a
Love him.
Great episode about taxes, and in many countries the government, because the government already has all your information, the government already has what you make, right? So what governments in many other countries do, they just send you a bill if you have a bill, and they say, hey, this is how we came up to the bill, this is the bill, check it over, maybe we did something wrong. But instead we are in this Byzantine system that we have to go to H&R Block, that we have to go to tax accountants that pay lobbyists to make sure we don't have a simplified system.
Yeah.
It is crazy. So
that was Donald Trump's major promise, was he was going to simplify the tax code, and all he did was made it easier for rich people to keep their money. So
that was one of his major promises. And there's that border wall and hating brown people and
all those things.
Yeah, just a long line. Well, hopefully, coming back to the point about this COVID church guy, how he said he wasn't going to do the thing, they didn't learn his lesson. Hopefully more people will learn their lesson. I was one of those who said I wasn't going to take any Trump virus. Trump virus rushed out. If they get, it's like Trump virus, and it was on the shelves put out by Russia, because remember, like the first 6 months into it, there's Russia going, they had a vaccine. And I was like, I'm not going to take a Russian Trump vaccine. I'm just not going to do it. But now we got Pfizer and these other places. I would take their vaccines. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever you were waving your arms about there.
I will take the vaccine as soon as it is for me, as soon as it's available.
My daughter's autoimmune. She's got diabetes type 1. I will be taking the vaccine as soon as I can. And if it's safe for children, she will be too. But as far as I understand, I don't think children have to take it or are going to be taking it. So
I think for kids under 16, that's what I heard on the news.
16 and older is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. No callers today, huh? Wow.
Well, we've got one ringing in right now. I'm going to let you guys talk while I get everything ready, and as soon as we're ready to go,
fingers
I'll
crossed,
bring them in.
Chris.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, well, there's other things we've got going on. Tomorrow, I think what we're going to do, Andy, since you brought this to my attention, is that tomorrow, I think we're probably going to go ahead and just topic the show about the Jericho March. And we'll cover that kind of in depth, because that's going to be hilarious.
I might have to make a video on that, and push it up my list, because right now it would be like 3 months away before it hits my channel. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing with doing topical news items, is that you do have to make them in the pocket. You have to make them quickly.
Yeah,
true enough.
But I mean, that is hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's great stuff. I'm going to go ahead real quick and bring David Paul. David Paul is joining us this morning. I'm going to bring David Paul into the show. All right. Good morning, David. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
How's it going this morning?
Oh, pretty good. I just got a little quick story about the COVID vaccine. And if I could relate that, and it's kind of funny, I think. My sister's cousin, his sister is very religious, and she just got over COVID. And I guess she had it really bad. She didn't come near death, but she was really, really sick. They had to give her fluids, intravenous fluids. And she told her brother, now she is extremely religious. She's extremely Trumper. And she says, I don't care if they have chips in the vaccine or not. I'm taking it anyway. That was horrible.
I agree.
All it takes is a little suffering. Yeah.
I had a pretty bad case of it myself. In fact, like the last couple of days, I'm like wondering, am I picking it up? I feel better today, but am I getting it again? Could be a psychological thing because I saw it in the news recently that they're finding out that you can get it a lot sooner than they thought before. But I had a pretty bad case of it. I do not want to get that crap again. It's not fun. You don't want to. I mean, even the people that get mild cases of it report like, "Hey, this is pretty serious." So you know, you don't want to get it. Like people have this thing in their mind like it's going to be like a flu, and you're used to the flu. You're used to getting over the flu. It's not like the flu.
No. Rage, I gotta ask, man, what are you doing? Are you not like social distancing? Are you not washing your hands, brother? Are you not putting your mask on? What up? Are you a dick nose? You're a dick nose, aren't you?
I'm an essential worker, so we're on the front lines. We're not, nurses, but I'm in the food business, and we deal with people face to face, and we all protect ourselves. We all wash our hands. But the food industry has been hit the hardest, and some parts of the food industry are being absolute douchebags about it. I'm sure we'll be talking about that at some point. So,
yeah. Well, there's lots of different notions on who's going to take the vaccine, why they're going to take it, or why they're not going to take it.
I just want to say this about that story about the religious person who got COVID-19 and now really wants the vaccine. Those people's stories need to be shunted, need to be like projected towards the religious community, because those are the people who will listen. Their stories, those religious people who are really sick and now want the vaccine badly, those are the stories that will resonate in the religious communities.
Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong, because when I say essential employees under the lockdown, I was talking like, I hope I'm only down to 50%. I am down to 1/5 of my work week at this point. 8 hours a week is what I'm getting. Right. So, but even then, I'm exposing myself to 100, 150, a lot of different people. So it's dangerous for us. It really is. And I'm feeling better today. I don't feel like I had it, but I had symptoms again that were very COVID-like, and I'm like, oh, not again.
True that.
Yeah. Well, my buddy Dale McGowan, who's actually coming on the channel next Thursday. I'm sorry, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. He had COVID, and he had symptoms way after he officially got over it. He had a cough for quite a while.
Right. Well, again, there are people out there who don't want to take the vaccine. I've heard the vaccine can be hard. It can be. David. I'm going to mute you. There's a popping coming from your thing. I'm just going to mute you there, David, while we talk. But there's this. There are a lot of people out there who don't want to take it for various reasons. Some people want to wait until it's been tested. They may be healthy individuals. Trina DeLuca, a young healthy woman, wants to wait, and which is they're probably going to make her wait anyway. By the time she's even offered it, millions of people will have had it, and you'll kind of have an idea if it's safe or not, kind of one of those things. But the same thing, other people have different reasons for not wanting to take it.
Well, and we don't need everybody to take it. We need 70%. We would like more than 70%, but 70% starts to establish that herd immunity that they're seeking. So
the only and mRNA vaccines do not change your genetic code. I think that's what's important to note too. I was doing some reading about mRNA vaccines beforehand, and what they do is that they shoot in a glob of RNA into your cells. It helps target COVID-19 viruses, and then no effect to your DNA whatsoever. So that's important.
From what I'm hearing about it, you will experience some side effects, and it will be uncomfortable for a couple of days. Notably, a pretty bad headache. Most people are reporting, but I think I could deal with a headache for a couple of days as opposed to COVID for 12 or 14 days and the rest of your life, because it does damage for the rest of your life. And I'm sure like the experience, the symptoms I experienced the last couple of days are probably just a result of something that I'm going to be dealing with forever. I need to call the doctor and really report what I've been going through.
No, I think that's good that you're doing that, Rage, is that you're calling your doctor and at least other people will know. I hope that there's a database about what happens to long-term survivors of COVID-19, because that information could be really important.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm planning on doing after the show today, and I feel better today, so I'm hoping that continues because I've been pretty down. Like, my open room was only 2 hours last night. I usually do 4. I'm like, I'm done. Let's go.
That's cray.
I just want to I know that we're closing in on an hour, but once again, people should be getting paid for the vaccine, as in to take the vaccine. That is the way how to get more people vaccinated. You give people a couple of bucks, you give people for the first dose, and then you give people a couple more bucks for the second dose.
And as soon as you start to see progress from the people taking it, you show it. You've got to be on top of the public narrative.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it down. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Nokasuchi, for joining me. Andy, guys, if you're watching, don't pop off. I'm going to show a commercial before we leave, a funny commercial. I like to say that because people hear me say this and then they leave. So don't leave just yet. Andy, what do you got going on today, brother?
I got another comedy short coming down the chute. I don't know what it's going to be about. Like I said, next Thursday, a week from today, I have Dale McGowan. We're doing a special holiday music episode. Dale is a professor. He teaches music, and we're going to be doing all kinds of musical stuff a week from today. A week from tomorrow, I have Dragons in Genesis coming on, and we're going to be talking
some Dragons in Genesis.
We're going to be talking about all kinds of crazy Bible stuff. Book of Enoch. I've been binging through his podcast, and so I got questions. He's got answers. It's
do this. Oops, sorry about that. What about you, Nokasuchi? You got anything going on? Well, you do.
Oh yeah,
but
today at 1, we got S.J. Thomason and C.J. Cox coming on with me and John. Should be a really good conversation. We're going to be talking Christianity and morality. Going to be a civil conversation. I'm looking forward to it because I have so many uncivil ones. And then I'll be putting out an edited video later this evening. So yeah, lots going on today.
Odd as this may seem, I don't hear a lot about people in the verse, but I've heard good things about S.J. Thompson. Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, she puts out some cray stuff on Twitter.
Of course.
She said a few crazy things politically that I called her out for, but generally we've always gotten along, and she allows me to be critical, and she doesn't dismiss me for my approach or my style, and she took it well on the chin when I made some videos about her. So she definitely has respect for that. So
being able to hear criticism is so important.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out. Thank you to everybody watching in the damn nation. You wonderful people. Thank you all. Remember, if you're watching on Facebook, the only place that's going to be streaming on Facebook tomorrow is the Daily Atheist Morning Show Facebook page. So go check that out. Go like that if you like watching the show. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you all. We will see you tomorrow.
Be strong.
Did Donald Trump sell the Resolute desk? On Thanksgiving, Typhoid Trump spoke to the press for the first time in 3 weeks since the election, and he did so from a cartoonishly small desk in the diplomatic room of the White House. To add to the pathetic scene, a few feet away sat an undecorated Christmas tree, which seems to fittingly suit his presidency. A dictator at the child's table, and he failed to complete the one job in the room. And if you look at the pictures, it looks like he's signing stuff, but he doesn't even have a pen or a Sharpie or a crayon. But why did he take questions from such a small desk? Did he steal and sell the Resolute desk in a desperate attempt to get more coin over to Deutsche Bank for his puppet master Putin? Just kidding. We all know he wouldn't really do such a thing, just like he wouldn't really call for the arrest of his political opponents or openly try to subvert our democracy. That's just crazy talk. Maybe someone should check on the Resolute desk. Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Cindy Plaza and Ian Davenport. Thank you and have a great day.